Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Enemy Stand User. I hope y'all are doing good because this week was an amazing chapter of JJK. This truly was like everything we wanted from this Hakari versus Hajime fight and more. Gege always makes a note to just give so much raw emotion, potential, and impact with every hit and every fight with these characters, and Hakari is definitely that dude. Everything about Hakari just makes him cold as hell, man. I'm like really starting to see why Yuta gassed him up so much, and Hakari was just ultra clean in this battle and amazing. But things are progressing really nicely in these colonies, but let's just drop into this awesome battle between these heavy hitters in JJK right now with chapter 186. Alright, kicking things off, we drop right into the battle and Hakari is hyped up. Let's go. His cursed energy is surging out and actually has a sort of theme playing for him, just getting him hyped up even further. He goes right for Kashimo, punching him, and even when Kashimo blocked, Hakari was still able to knock Kashimo's rod right out of his hands and shake Kashimo up a bit, crashing him through shipping containers. The onslaught is not over yet as Hakari is still on sight and goes in for a hard swinging kick, barely missing Kashimo, causing him to bleed a little bit from his nose. During this time, Hajime's cursed energy was still active, but basically it was getting nothing out of Hakari. Even Hakari says it's just a little numb from that electricity, but Kashimo is now getting amped up a bit and has a sort of respect toward Hakari, asking for his name, so now things are really getting interesting. We now get a peek into this new cursed energy property, and with regular cursed energy reinforcement, other sorcerers can block it fairly easily, but with cursed energy imbued with a special effect, the effect can still hurt the defender even when it is blocked with cursed energy, so it's a really tricky skill to deal with. But now, with Hakari, he can just ignore Hajime's electricity altogether with super high levels of raw cursed energy and output. And finally, both fighters state their names and we're starting to feel the fever, but now our fighters actually talk as Hakari strikes a deal that if he wins the battle, then Kashimo gives up 100 points, and Kashimo actually agrees to this. He still wants to know about Sukuna's location, but I don't know if y'all noticed, but at this point, Hakari is now starting to lock in and enter his nirvana. It's like because of his sheer power and battle prowess, he's starting to climax. But pause on that, but seriously, he says surging cursed energy pulses within me, and yeah, he's locked in. This boy has found his nirvana, and this is really kind of similar to the Hunter x Hunter Hisoka weird kink for battle, but it's really shows the sort of high you can get when you reach a certain potential, and explains why a lot of strong people have this sort of crackhead crazy energy, out of their mind energy. Granted, Hakari probably wasn't the most stable person, but moving on. The battle enters pure fisticuffs as Kashimo throws hands, beating on Hakari, and it looks like Hakari is just kind of letting it happen, letting him get free shots off. And even Kashimo is wondering, like, why is he zoning out, and about to tell him not to disappoint him. But before he can finish, Hakari snaps back, punching this dude in the jaw and slamming him away, and now we see just how off and how crazy and how goofy our boy is, as he literally does not care, as he just ate all of his hits and he likes it. This was really small, but even his little like funny little goofy poses remind me of something like Michael Jackson or like a JoJo character, mostly like Michael's little hee that he does in this absolutely cursed panel. But our boy Hakari is like a different beast, and he kind of reminds me of like a mix between like Toto and Takaba in that really wacky, wild way. But Hakari still tries to blitz him, and at this point I'm trying to like kind of gauge how OD these guys are as they go blow for freaking blow in this peak battle, and I definitely see him. They kind of nice with it. The power is definitely on point, especially with Hakari and his boost. But Kashimo manages to slip away and pop off one of his short hit cursed energy attacks, using charges of electricity between him and his opponent, actually hitting Hakari and blowing his arm off brutally. man, this power utterly tears, and it really is dangerous. Kashimo even thinks that he's won now, but Hakari is still in fighting shape, kicking Kashimo back. Kashimo still is a bit surprised, but he thinks that Hakari is in critical condition, when in fact, the very next panel we see him with his arm repaired. It's then explained that the jackpot from Restless Gambler gives Hakari a condition where when a song from Pure Love Train plays, Hakari gets infinite cursed energy flowing through him. This lasts for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. This infinite energy seemed to have granted him reverse curse, but Hakari never acquired reverse curse, but because of the infinite energy flowing through him at his disposal, his body just naturally used that energy, performing reverse curse to heal his wounds, effectively making him a immortal for the duration of his song and from the jackpot. And yeah, this is clearly why Yuta respects him and stated how he could actually be stronger than him, because in this state he's really broken. Reverse curse is actually one of the hardest things to learn in sorcery, and replacing a human limb is not easy at all, but Hakari did it instantly like some monster. But now Hakari's time is starting to fade. It's kind of hinted that his time limit is starting to come up. So what does he do? Of course, he goes into another domain expansion to start the whole process over again. Because he can recover his cursed energy and burnt out curse technique during the round, as long as he continues to hit the jackpot, he can expand his domain as many times as he wants. A continuous domain expansion. So wow, Hakari is broken. This is a seriously crazy power, and Hakari just gets really high on it. He is just like spamming this domain, and the fever won't stop. So no matter what you say, you can't even like downplay this dude. You can't. In his domain, even when Hakari loses a reach event or gets a bad roll, the stage just resets and goes full circle. Like what? Well, I should say, at least for the time being, I should say there is no perceivable drawback to Hakari just spamming and resetting his domain till he gets a jackpot. It just gives him, his domain just gives him more chances to win and utterly wreck people in this god mode. It's very crazy, unless he can be stopped in the domain. But Hakari is super clean. It's really no wonder why Charles was off screen in that. The fight probably only lasted like 2 seconds after this mode reached. You literally would have to stop Hakari's streak before he just gets to be too much to handle. But speaking of domains though, this particular domain with this hand sign represents the god of luck, Benzai 10, who is supposedly a female god who destroys enemies and bestows good fortune and treasures. So props to Gege for the detail, as this is a really perfect for Hakari. But this chapter was way too fun. This was awesome. Hakari is just that guy. He's way too cool, and his fever really can just rub off. I really like all of his like goofy actions, his little wacky taunts, his crazy goofy music, and of course the freaking naked Nirvana panel. He's out here getting a hard on for battle. Dang it. But Hakari is just a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this battle, and it's a big thing I really want to see is like a true clash of domains. I want to see how Hakari's domain is impacted when another person expands their own territory. Will the barrier last? Will Hakari's effect have consequences, like with a bad roll or something else entirely? I say this because, you know, there's just like no way Kashimo is this strong. He didn't even reveal his curse technique, and not having knowledge on barriers. Like, I really expect him to pop off his own domain expansion, at least in this sequence of events. And not to mention just Hajime, this literal psychopath, him sitting there with this in his brain. Like, nah fam, like I really don't see Hajime trying to deal with that chaotic cluster mess of an explanation. But it could either go down like Hajime kind of entertains Hakari's idea with his power and just kind of lets it happen, or he gets fed up and uses something to stop Hakari, like a domain. But again, anything could go down, and I'm really having a lot of fun reading this and thinking about Hakari's crazy potential. But Gege is awesome just for how he uses and writes Hakari, and it's insane how good these new characters are with such few scenes. And the Culling games are just like the next level, and I'm probably gonna do like a video on the potential of this arc and how it's like the next stage in terms of power and growth. But I'm having a lot of fun. Hopefully y'all are too. Remember to comment below. I love reading y'all's comments about the chapter and about JJK in general. And also check out my last video if you can, going over all the JJK abilities. You don't have to check out all of it, but I put in all types of edits and diagrams to make it simple and fun for y'all to enjoy. But this has been Enemy Stand User, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.